YouTube, welcome back to the Built on Boxes YouTube channel. My name is James White. I am the trucking lawyer. Guys, this has been the trucking week from hell. The trucking week from hell. It's actually been a really rough 3 weeks. I did my 90-day review video the other day and laid out the numbers for the previous 90 days and our getting our authority, and really only active for about 70 of those days. Really the reason I wanted to make this video is because I want to have a conversation with you guys about setting proper expectations and making sure that you're prepared for setback weeks like the one that we are having. So I am gonna have me a little bit of an adult beverage here, still coming to you from sunny Florida, down in the Kissimmee area. We're so close to Mickey Mouse, I can smell the capitalism. It's expensive here. But anyway, nonetheless, trucking week from hell. So I want to lay the foundation and give you the last couple of weeks and reason why they've been sort of struggle bus weeks for us. So last week, 26th or 27th of May, whatever the Monday was my son's 1-year anniversary with his girlfriend, and also the day he decided to propose. He asked, because we live in Tennessee, his mom lives in West Virginia, which is where we're from originally. His mom wanted to come in for that. So he asked to be off on the Friday before that weekend. So the week before, we had basically a Monday through Thursday week. Then he wanted to propose on their anniversary, which was Monday. So that meant that that last week was a short week too, because we're going to have Tuesday through Friday, Tuesday through Saturday. And then because this past weekend was Memorial Day weekend, really the freight world kind of slowed way down beginning on Friday. And so nothing came out on Monday. But I want to give you sort of like the last week and a half. We took a load on Monday of last week from Knoxville to Jacksonville, and which is typically what we do. We usually get a load on Monday from Knoxville to Jacksonville or Knoxville to Tallahassee or something like that. So we get a load down to Florida, and then we get a second load going to Knox, Pennsylvania. But it's going to go through Virginia. There's 3 stops. It's Glen Allen, Virginia, then another place in Virginia, and then ending in Pennsylvania. Total of 1,000 miles. We got $3,850 for the load, which is great. But the problem is when Coyote set the schedule, that it picking up on Wednesday morning, because again, he had to be off on Monday. So he was going out Tuesday morning from Knoxville to Jacksonville, unloading on Wednesday morning, and then this load was picking up about 100 miles away in Georgia and going up to Pennsylvania. So it was Wednesday morning at like 10 or 11 o'clock was the pickup, or maybe it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And Coyote scheduled for all 3 of these loads to be delivered by like 4 o'clock on Thursday, which was about 26 hours from the time they picked up, which would be fine, except for the fact that there was 1,000 miles distance between the two, and you can only run about 600 miles in an 11-hour legal day. And so that was a 2-day load in order to do it legally and really physically, but they only scheduled it for 1 day. So that load that was supposed to be delivered by Thursday, it was already going to stretch into Friday, and I really knew that when I took it. That's why I negotiated such a high rate, because I knew it was going to be a 2-day load. I try to get $1,500 per day out of the truck, and I'm not always successful. Some days are $1,250, $1,300, but I try to get 15 every day. And so I knew when I took that load, it was going to be a 2-day load, and so I knew I needed to get over 3,000. I was able to negotiate $3,850, and I thought, well, that's great. We had a short week. We started on Monday. We might have a chance of getting over 6,000 then, in order to sort of make up for the time that we lost. So about 25 miles into picking up this second load, the brake cylinders or some component of the brake just explode on the truck. He has no brakes, and he's pulled over on the side of the road. We call Penske. They were great. I mean, Penske's always great. Whenever you have a breakdown or you have an issue, they come out. I mean, there's been times that they've come out, they've given him a tire, they've fixed him on the side of the road. I mean, those guys are awesome, and it's a phenomenal value. Now, don't get me wrong, we pay a lot in rent for the truck, but it's great that you don't have to worry about coming out of pocket for that kind of stuff if you break down. But anyway, Penske comes out, and they're like, there's no way we can fix this on the side of the road. We're going to have to get you a replacement truck. So it took them 4.5 hours to get him a replacement truck. So not only were we stretched because of the way that Coyote scheduled it, but it took us another 4.5 hours because we had a breakdown. Nevertheless, he gets the load, he takes it up to first place from Georgia to Virginia. Then he takes it to the second place, either in Virginia or Pennsylvania, I don't remember. And then he takes the third one. He finally gets the third one delivered Friday evening at about 4:30 or 5 o'clock in Knox, Pennsylvania. Well, I had set a last load that was going to bring him in for pickup on Friday at 6 o'clock to be delivered into London, Kentucky, right up the road from us on Saturday morning. But the problem was Coyote had scheduled, again, this is another scheduling snafu, they scheduled pickup for this load at the exact same time that the business closed. And so when my driver got to the place to pick it up, the shipper refused to load the truck because Coyote had scheduled this load to be picked up at the same time that they closed. And so we had a truck ordered not used situation because the broker scheduled the load at the wrong time. It always takes you an hour or 2 hours to load no matter what. So they refused to use us. We were in Pittsburgh. We didn't have a load back. Even though we were able to get that 3-stop load delivered, it pushed us so late into the day that there was no way we could get there even a little bit early in order to try to coax this guy into loading us. And so anyhow, that was last week. I ended up getting a cover load for like $600 on Uber Freight and was able to cover our fuel just a deadhead home. But all in all, because of the $38.50 load and because I started the week with a $1,500 load, we were able to get to $59.50 for the week on basically like 3.5 or 4 days. So because it was Memorial Day weekend, there really wasn't a lot to be had on Saturday, and my driver needed to reset anyway. And so my thoughts were, we'll pick something up Monday and we'll try to forget about these 2 short weeks in the last 2 weeks. Well, Monday comes along and it's Memorial Day and there's nothing. I mean, there's nothing coming out of Knoxville that we could really potentially do that would be worth our time. And so there's nothing at all. So we miss Monday. Tuesday, my driver gets in the replacement truck and he starts to take off to go pick up the load that I just negotiated. It's a Knoxville to Jacksonville load for $1,800, and 300 feet from the truck stop, transmission goes out in the truck. So we had a breakdown for the second week in a row, this time in a replacement truck. And so Penske comes, they pick up the truck, and they're like, you're gonna be down 6 to 12 hours. Penske never got us a truck on Tuesday. And so we got Monday gone because of Memorial Day, Tuesday gone because we couldn't find a replacement truck. This is the reason that they stopped the rental program with Amazon. They're so overutilized with their equipment that they don't even have enough trucks to replace stuff for people when they break down without pulling them from centers that are 2, 3, 4, 5 hours away. So we finally get a truck Wednesday morning. I book a load Wednesday morning. It's going for $1,800. It's going from Kennesaw, Georgia to Jacksonville, Florida. So my driver gets in the second replacement truck and he goes up to Kennesaw, Georgia, and he gets to the shipper, and the shipper's like, I don't know why they booked this. We can't load you. And he's like, guys, like, I drove all the way from Knoxville, Tennessee. It's like 200 miles deadhead, and I've got to be in Jacksonville to pick up my next load. So I got a load coming out of there tomorrow. This has to work. And they're like, well, okay, we'll try to work you in and we'll get back with you here in a little bit. 2, 3 hours later, they come along and they're like, we're not gonna be able to make it work. And so they canceled it. So now we have a second week in a row where we have a truck order not used situation. And my guy is 3 days into the week. This is Wednesday. We still haven't made a dime. And he's in Georgia with no load. This is the trucking week from hell. And the reason that I wanted to have this conversation is because, guys, people get on YouTube and they act like this is all like flowers and unicorns. It's not. Sometimes it's just it's a shit show. I mean, it really is. Like, I'm on vacation down here, and I'm not complaining because I'm blessed to be able to have a vacation. So I don't mean to sort of put myself in the same place that other people who can't even take a vacation. But I'm saying I'm down here on vacation and trying to deal with this stuff too, and I'm in a place where I'm completely helpless because I don't have any way to fix it. And there are times in this business where you just have to understand that your hands are going to be tied. Yeah, I'm a lawyer. I could sue people. It's a breach of contract, but nobody's going to do that. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. I'll lose way more money trying to sue and pursue that than I would just eating it and being done with it. So, the bottom line is you have to be ready. You have to have a few $1,000s set aside just for the sole purposes of expecting to have a crappy week, because this is a situation where we are stuck here. We're really not going to make any money. We've got one load going out. I think he's picked it up already today, and he's on his way to Kentucky. But that's a $1,700 load, and then he's going to probably get maybe another $1,300 load coming home from Kentucky, and then his week's going to be over. And because nothing really happens on the weekend. If you know anything about, like, especially semi-freight, most loads that you pick up on Friday are either going to be delivered early morning Saturday or they're going to be delivered Monday, so they bleed over into the next week. Basically, the week's over for us. If we are lucky, we're going to bring in a gross revenue of $3,000. I have a $1,000 a week truck expense. I have a $1,000 a week insurance expense, and I have to pay my driver, so he gets 25% of the load, so that's $750. So that's $2,750 of the $3,000 that we made, and I've got to cover fuel. So really, by the time I pay the driver 25% of the load, which is what I pay him because he's my son and he's the one out there dealing with this, I lost money this week. And so you have to understand that this is part of the game. This is what you have to be prepared for, and you have to understand that this is not all easy. It's not all flowers and unicorns. Every day is not paradise. Look, here's to a better week next week. Even though we're on vacation, I'm enjoying the sunshine. I'm going to have to go back to real life here in a couple of days. Do not come into this business with unreasonable expectations, because that is what will set you up for failure. Understand, put $5,000 or $6,000, $10,000 aside, so that if you're not getting the invoices to bring in to bankroll you for the week or for 2 weeks, if you have a truck breakdown, if you own the vehicle and you're going to be done, absolutely have yourself in a situation where you can sustain yourself during a week like this, because I promise you, they will come. It took us 90 days to have one, but we've had pretty much 3 weeks in a row where it's been pretty crappy. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you continuing to comment on the videos. Please remember to like and subscribe. We're almost at 900 subscribers, and I think we're going to be at 1,000 probably by the end of next week. So really getting excited about our journey, and thank you guys so much for supporting us. And my email is always in the comment section, so please shoot me an email. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you.